everybody, it's me, Jessica, your health fitness program manager from McLean, and I'm just bribing up the bird real fast so that I can, don't be a nasty bird, so that I can guide you through today's mind-body connection. Today's class is going to focus a lot more on the shoulders and the upper body. So I encourage you to have a strap so that we can really get to some of that opening. We will start today in the seated position of your choice. I'm going to go for Sukhasana or perfect pose. Actually, I'm probably going to keep things a little bit tighter. We got 1 minute till we get started. You're welcome to sit yourself up on a prop. If you find that that's still too much for you, I don't think there's anything in today's class. Well, at least in the beginning, I'll plug my phone in. You can always be seated on the edge of a chair if you find that your hips are so super tight that it's uncomfortable for you to sit down on the floor. Okay, plug this in, perfect. Do, 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 do. All right, it's 11:15. Making my way down to the floor. Folding these legs in, because that's a comfortable, easy seated position for me. Actually, you know what? Being a little bit lifted sounds delightful today. It is a much easier way to relax those knees down towards the floor to create that opening within the hips. So let's hang out here for a couple of moments. Start off here with just some nice slow breath to start our class. Start to relax your body, relax your mind, relax your breath. Feel free to use your hands on your thighs to help you relax as well. So if you notice that you're really overarching or rounding your back, placing your hands palms face down to create that lift and that engagement through the core can be helpful. Otherwise, having those hands palms facing up towards the ceiling can help you just draw in the energy from the space around you. Let's quiet down right here. Before we take an extra stretch of our necks, I want you to just notice if you're bringing any additional strain to the neck shoulder space right now. Frequently while we're sitting at our desks, we find ourselves really hunched over and some big rounding of the shoulders. I know because I have a lot of hair, I just tend to also otherwise stretch my chin up towards the ceiling and get some crunching in the back of the neck. So now's a great time to really think about bringing your chin just neutral towards your chest, to creating as much length through the spine, through the back of your head as you can. We're going to take about 3 more breaths right here. Just working a little more into the neck right now. Now you will use your breath to inhale, look up, lift. Think about stretching your nose up towards the ceiling, not just bending through the neck, so shoulders are still released away from your ears. And on your exhale, chin tucks down towards the chest, but we're not collapsing down, still a big lift of the chest and engagement of that upper back. So inhale, look up, find the range of motion that works for you. Maybe you barely lift your chin any higher than it had been, and exhale, tuck that chin down towards your chest. Some days I know that my neck is feeling so tight that the only thing that really moves is my my mind of finding that stretch, even just with your eyes, getting into the ocular nerves. Let's get 2 more in each direction. Oh, ow. On your next inhale, bring your chin back to neutral. And let's go ahead and just take some nice little tilts side to side. Inhale back up to center. Exhale, bringing your ear towards your shoulder. If lifting your head up to center feels like a little too much for you, you can always pass through with, once again, bringing your chin down towards your chest, getting a little bit more of a stretch as you roll through the back of the neck. Just find what feels right for your body today. If you need to hang out in any holds, you're welcome to hang out there a little bit longer in your breath, even bringing your opposite fingers, reaching towards the floor to increase the amount of stretch that you get. Such a simple stretch, something you can do at your desk anytime. Maybe the next time you finish sending an email, or the next time you have a meeting that ends, you take a moment to yourself before you move on to just give yourself these simple yeses, looking up and down like we started with, and then there's rolls side to side so you can be more relaxed as you move on through the rest of your day. Okay, go ahead, bring your hands, palms to the center of your chest in Namaskar, with your thumbs touching on your chest sternum, and have those elbows pointed down towards the floor. So a little relaxed here, still continuing to drop those shoulders as opposed to a super active back or a little strain in those shoulders by bringing your elbows in line with your hands, palms. So reaching down towards the floor. We're gonna inhale, stretch all the way up towards the ceiling. And exhale, open your hands, palms face up towards the ceiling. Bring those arms out to a T. As your arms are out here in a T, I want you to notice if you brought any extra overarching to that back. So take a moment to draw that belly in, to keep that pelvis gently tucked, possibly, so that you're stacking your hips on top of your shoulders. And from here, we're just going to turn our hands, palms down. Shoulder blades are still working in towards each other. I'm just resisting the urge to find that extra arch in the back. And then inhale up, exhale down, inhale up, down, up. Keep it up for 10, 9. Maybe you're slowing your breath down just a little bit here. 5 more twists, just waking those shoulders up. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Relax your right hand down to the floor. Reach your left arm up and over. Can you keep your arm in line with your ear and that chest nice and open? As you press your sit bone either into the floor or into the cushion, you feel a giant stretch through the left side of the body. If you're not lifted up on a cushion, you might even want to bring that right forearm down towards the mat. Or maybe even that feels too far away and you're using a block on the floor to reach with your hand. Inhale, bring yourself back up through center, and exhale as pass through to the other side, starting to bring a big stretch towards the sides of the body. Once again, do your best to keep that chest open, as if your fingers of your extended hand are pressing against an imaginary wall behind you to really open that chest and activate that shoulder. Inhale, lift up. Exhale one more time each side. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, reach over to that opposite side. Beautiful. Back up through center. Relax your hand down. Take another moment just here in Sukhasana. In your breath, notice how your body's feeling right now. Do you already feel a little bit more open, easy, flexible than you did when class started? Maybe you don't even feel that openness yet within your body, but do you notice it in your breath? Continue to work to increase the length of your exhales. And go ahead, grab hold of your strap. Take that rounding and arching out of your back. Find that lift through the crown of your head. We're going to inhale, bring our arms up, and exhale, keeping those arms straight. Release them down behind us. Moving really slow. Inhale the full length of your inhale to bring those arms up overhead. The full length of your exhale to bring those arms down in front of you. Inhale up. At least a 4-second count. Exhale back. Inhale up. Exhale back. Start to take notice of what's happening with your rib cage. So keeping that rib cage pulled in nice and tight. Doing your best to not let it just flare out, especially as those arms come up and to the back. So a real tightening of that core. Maybe you're even able to walk your fingers in a little bit closer on your strap to challenge the opening of the body even more. Let's get 2 more times in each direction. Focus on finding that length through the crown of your head and depressing those shoulders as much as possible. Last time. Turn your hands, palms over, palms facing up towards the ceiling. Receive all that awesome energy out there. Relax your breath. Take 3 breaths right here, and then we'll move into doing some cow-faced arms. So we're really relaxing the lower body today. If you want to, you can even open those legs a little bit wider. Just finding what feels good. Maybe you switch up to come into a dragon pose for your next couple breaths. And you're welcome to hang out here, just changing the stretch in your legs as we come into cow-face arms. If it's really challenging for you to bring your fingers together, I encourage you to use your strap. So either with your strap in your hand, because you can always let it go, you don't have to use it. Let's go ahead, inhale, our right arm up towards the ceiling, and bring your left hand back behind you. Walk your left hand fingertips up your spine, and if you need to, grab hold of your strap as you bend the right elbow, similar to a tricep stretch, and see if you can walk those hands together. Keep your chin lifted away from your chest. Just ask yourself where you feel the stretch today. Remember, every day is different. Everyone's body is different. So where I feel a big stretch might be a little bit different than where you feel a big stretch. Some days the challenge in cow face for me is finding just that lifting of the chest, of working to lift my head up. Whereas today I feel a really deep stretch in my shoulder of my elbow that's facing down towards the floor. Let's take 3 more breaths right here, hanging out a little bit longer in these stretches, bringing a little yin to our yang today. And then I want you to carefully release that lower hand down towards the floor. You can keep the strap in it. Inhale your upper hand towards the ceiling, relax it down. Give yourself a couple shoulder circles. Wow, that felt very intense today. I'm going to separate the shoulder circles just to help bring that stretch a little bit more down through the lats and through my lower and mid back. Change direction of those shoulder circles, or just continue to hang out in your breath and stillness. Awesome. Let's go ahead and get those cow face arms in the opposite direction. So starting with the strap in the hand that's stretching up towards the ceiling, bring your opposite hand behind you. Gently trace those fingers up your back. Find the strap. Walk your hands, palms together. It's very normal to be able to bring your hands, palms together on one side and not the other. What's happening with your rib cage? Did it totally splay out? Can you find a little bit more contraction of your abdominal core? Take that extra arching out of your back. Stretch one elbow up towards the ceiling. Depress that opposite shoulder. Elbow stretches down towards the floor. Almost there, y'all. Take 3 to 4 super slow breaths. Keep that chin lifted. Keep that belly tight. Keep your rib cage knit. Gently take the time to come out, carefully release, no flinging. You can just allow that strap to relax down on the floor behind you. We don't need it for right now. Coming back into either just your stillness, or if your body needs it, giving yourself those shoulder circles. Sometimes after a stressful posture, you need or you feel like you need to get a little bit of a fidget on. So I wanted to give you that option, but also to give you the opportunity to challenge yourself to find that quietness and that stillness with just your breath. Make sure you get those shoulder circles in both directions if they were an option that worked for you. And next up, we're gonna take, sorry, I thought that was a spider. We're gonna take some, oh, I'm sorry, fly, I killed you. And we're gonna take seated eagle arms. What a distraction. Inhale those arms up overhead, palms come together, and then you're gonna exhale and bring your right arm underneath of the left and cross at your elbows. You're working to bring your hands palms towards each other, but if you have any sort of shoulder or elbow injury, that might be a little bit too tight of a reach for you, so you can always go for your opposite shoulders. Really work to find this compression of your top elbow into your bottom elbow. And if you can, bring those hands palms together. Bring your hands palms together. Ideally, fingers are going to line up. You can always interlace your fingers though. We're gonna work to lift those elbows up. So take your time, do so on your inhale. Just find a place that you can hang out. Bring that rib cage back together. And then, if you're like me, your fingers were coming close towards your face. So I want you to draw your fingers further away so your hands palms are stacked under your elbows. There's some great space between your nose and your hands. We got just about 30 seconds left right here, creating a big opening of the back side of the body and the shoulders. If it's too much for you with those elbows raised, you can gently pull them down and still get a great opening of the back side of the body. Keep breathing. One more inhale, and on your exhale, carefully release, lower it down. Inhale your arms back up overhead, palms come together, and this time switch it up. So left arm comes underneath of right. Find that compression. See if you can get your hands palms towards each other, or if you need to bring your hands to your shoulders for a little bit more support. Pull your belly in, ground your sit bones, and then work to lift those elbows up. You can feel as those elbows lift how much more the stretch comes into your upper body shoulders. 30 seconds left right here. Keep that belly pulled in, keep breathing. And on your exhale, gently release, relax those arms down. Inhale them up overhead. We're gonna do one more time each side, surprise. Exhale, bring that right arm underneath of your left, cross at the elbows, muscle memory, bring those hands palms together. Inhale, lift it up, just 30 seconds this time, 30 seconds total, so a little bit less time. Pull that belly in, rib cage knit. You've got this, halfway through. Thumbs towards your face if you can, little baby fingers forward to the front of the room. And on your next exhale, bring those elbows down, carefully release. Inhale, arms come up overhead. Switch those arms. Left arm comes underneath of the right, cross and twist. Find that squeeze and compression, top elbow into lower. Inhale, lift up, 30 seconds right here. Thumbs to your face, thumbs away from face, little baby fingers forward. Sit bones are ground, belly pulled in tight, shoulders depressed away from your ears while you're still finding this lift right here through the elbow and hands palms. One more big inhale, lift, and on your exhale, carefully lower down. If you're on your prop, take yourself off of the prop. Let's go ahead. Find a little forward walk. Start to come out with length in your spine. You can keep your fingers here on the floor. You can stay lifted if that's what your body needs. Otherwise, after you've found that big length, you can use your exhale to find some rounding in that lower back, but make sure that your sit bones stay down on the floor. So no pulling yourself forward onto your knees just yet. You can allow your head to drop down towards the floor. Take your time, walk yourself with your hands all the way over to the right and press through your left glutes towards the floor. Create that big stretch throughout the left side of the body, especially as you draw your left shoulder forward. Keep those sit bones down, walk yourself through center. Use a big exhale to stretch your fingers a little bit more forward, create a little bit more rounding and length at the center. Inhale to walk yourself back up and over to the opposite side. This time pressing down through your right sit bone, drawing that right shoulder forward to create even more length and stretch through the right side of the body. One more big inhale. On your exhale, walk yourself back through center. Inhale to find a little length through your spine. Exhale to round down here as much as possible. And then inhale, gently draw yourself back up. Great, we're gonna come onto where belly is next. Do a little bit of some spine strengthening. So rolling yourself down onto your belly, I want you to bring your hands, palms in line with your chest, and we're going to do a little bit of cobra. So your fingertips are in line with your shoulders. So if you dropped your shoulders down towards the mat, they would gently touch on your fingertips, and your thumbs are in line with the center of your chest. Bring your legs together, press the tops of the feet into the floor, and feel your kneecaps lift up off of the mat. Roll your shoulders down away from your back so shoulder blades are already squeezed together and seated down your spine. Very little pressure in your hands, palms. On your inhale, you're going to pull your chest up and forward and start to look forward towards the ceiling. Very little pressure in those hands, palms. Maybe you have the spine strength to lift yourself up such that your belly button is on the floor. Maybe your whole chest is still on the floor. Take one more inhale without pressing into your hands very much. Lift up and exhale, carefully lower yourself down towards the floor. Relax your arms down by your side. Place your left ear on the mat. Turn towards the right side. Get a nice little stretch through your neck right here. Allow those shoulder blades to separate. One more breath. We'll do the same thing one more time. So go ahead, bring your feet back together. Press the tops of the feet into the floor. Get your hands, palms on the floor, and fingers in line with your shoulders. Elbows stretched back behind you. Roll those shoulders down and back. Use your exhale to relax down. And inhale to draw your head forward and then up. So there's still very little weight pressure in your hands, palms. We're going to use one more inhale breath. Stretch your elbows towards your hips. Press your feet into the floor. Look up, lift up, and exhale. Slowly lower down. This time place the opposite ear on the floor. Relax your arms down by your side. Next up, we're gonna go for half locust. So I want you to move your hips, roll those hips right and left, right and left. Turn your hands, palms down towards the floor like you're bumping a volleyball. If you have the range of motion to get your forearms all the way underneath of your body, then go for it. Otherwise, if that's too much pressure on your elbows, you can always just keep your arms down by the side of your body. Stretch your chin forward so that you feel a little bit more of a noticeable stretch on the back of your neck and even on your throat, and then completely relax your left leg. Lock your right knee, point your toes, press your pubic mound into the floor, take a deep inhale, and lift that right leg up. As high as possible, apply some pressure into your hands, palms on the floor. Keep that chin forward, take one more deep inhale, and exhale, relax your right leg down. Relax it completely. Lock your left knee, point your toes, squeeze your glutes, take an inhale, and lift your left leg up. One more big inhale, squeeze your glutes, lift, and exhale, slowly lower down. Tuck your chin down towards your mat to take the wrinkles out of your neck and protect your cervical spine. So mouth down, kissing your mat. Go ahead, squeeze your glutes. You might even wiggle your fingers a little bit closer towards your toes. As you shift more weight into your shoulder girdle, take an inhale and lift both legs up at the same time. Squeeze your glutes, shift the weight forward, press into your hands, palms, keep that mouth down on the floor. Take one more big inhale, lift, and exhale. Slowly lower down, release your arms from underneath of you, turn your palms up towards the ceiling, and bring your left ear to the mat, turn to the right. Separate those shoulders, relax your upper back as much as possible. We'll do the same thing one more time, just sticking with half locust and cobra today. Go ahead, turn your hands, palms over. Maybe you can get your little baby fingers to touch this time. Relax your left leg completely. Stretch your chin forward on the mat, lock your right knee, point your toes, and then like you're tracing a line up the wall with your toe, draw that right leg up. Keep stretching back like you're gonna touch the wall behind you. Squeeze your glutes, keep your hips down either on the mat or pressed into that forearm. One more inhale, lift up, and exhale, gently relax it down. Take your time on releasing it down. You're building strength in that direction as well. Wow, I got a cramp in my foot. I'm definitely dehydrated. Go ahead, relax your right leg completely. Lock your left knee, chin still forward. Point your toes, take a deep inhale, squeeze your glute, and lift up carefully, slowly, like you're drawing a line. Relax that right leg again. Stretch your toe towards the back of the room. Squeeze your glute, use your inhale, lift, and exhale, slowly lower down. Once again, tuck your chin in, mouth facing down to the towel to protect your cervical spine. No wrinkles in your neck, and you can always wiggle your fingers a little closer towards your glutes to get more of your chest. Upper body, shoulders on the mat. This one is a real challenge. You're doing a back bend while on your belly. So take a deep inhale, squeeze your glutes, and lift yourself up. Lift both legs up. Squeeze those legs together. Tighter is lighter. Shift the weight forward. Take one more big inhale. Lift. And exhale, slowly lower down. Release those arms from underneath of you and turn towards the opposite side. Get one more stretch of your neck. Melt your chest into the floor. Separate those shoulders. You're amazing. Bring your hands, palms underneath of your chest. We're going to press ourselves up into tabletop. I'm going to tuck my shirt in like the amazing winner that I know I am. My shirt tucked in. Great. And from here, we're going to come into puppy pose. So go ahead, start to walk those hands, palms forward, creating a big stretch in the chest and shoulders. Unlike child's pose, where you're sending your hips all the way back towards your heels, in puppy pose, you're working to keep that your hips stacked on top of your knees. Oh my God, I need more mat. All right. So you can always walk your hands out a little bit further. If that's too much for you, even bending your elbows down on the floor can take a lot of the pressure out. It's very normal to not be able to get your chest all the way down towards the floor. So maybe you even take a block or a prop and relax your chest on the prop. So you can just work on this stretch, pressing those hands, palms into the floor, the same way that you would see a dog do a stretch. So similar to down dog, but without having to be on our toes. You can still, as you press your knees and stretch your glutes back, feel a stretch in those hamstrings and your glutes. Even gently in those quads as your knees are pressing down towards the floor. Awesome. Go ahead, lift yourself up, walk those hands in. Let's bring a little bit more of a gentle stretch towards the shoulders. So we're going to thread the needle. Go ahead, keep your left hand on the floor. Press those knees into the floor, draw your belly in, press into your hands, palms, so that you're not sinking into your shoulders. Left hand stays down, eyes follow hand as you inhale and draw your right arm up towards the ceiling, taking a little twist right here. Feels so good on the ribs. And exhale, right hand comes underneath of the body. And bring that right temple to the floor. You can stay right here supported in your thread the needle with your elbow stacked right on top of your hand palm. Creates a great opportunity to truly find some length of drawing your shoulders away from your ears. Let's do that for today. So keeping that elbow stacked, pressing into the floor, seeing how that can help you to even reach through your extended right hand a little bit more. And let's gently come out. Inhale, start to draw your right hand out all the way up towards the ceiling, same way we came in. Exhale, release it down towards the floor. Give yourself a couple cat-cows right here. Ah, so good. Coming back into that neutral tabletop. Right hand stays planted on the floor. Make sure you're not sinking into the shoulders. Knees are depressed down into the mat. Tops of the feet as well. Belly pulled in. Inhale. Left arm up towards the ceiling. Turn, twist. Look at your beautiful hand as you exhale and bring it underneath of your body. Take your time. Bring your temple to the floor. Keep your hands, palms stacked. So right elbow is right on top of your left hand palm. And as you really press into the floor, you can noticeably feel a stretch and some activation of that upper back. All right, take your time, press into that hand palm. Gently lift yourself up, stretch your left hand up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bring your left hand down towards the floor. Let's make our way all the way onto our bellies again. Getting one more stretch through the shoulders here. Next up, we're gonna go for that broken wing. So extend your right leg, Jessica. Extend your right arm all the way out to the side in line with your shoulders. Bring your left hand in and carefully, with control, roll over onto the right side of the body. You can relax your head down onto the floor. If you're looking for even more of a stretch, separate your knees, clamshell your feet. You can even reach your left hand behind you. Go ahead, bend at the elbow, fingers touch your glute, and then trace up your back to make a nice little bird wing. One's broken, one's full. If that's too much of a stretch into the back shoulders, you can always once again keep that left hand on the floor for some support and just enjoy the twist. Change. Carefully roll over onto your belly. Take your time. Move with intention as you extend your opposite arm out. Hand palm in line with your shoulder. Draw that right hand in close to your chest and carefully with control. Rolling over onto the side body, relax your head down to the floor. You can keep your legs straight. You can keep your knees bent. You can stagger your knees. You can clamshell those legs open to create more of a stretch through the hip, through the mid and lower back. Find what feels right for your body today. Take your time, close your clamshell, roll back over onto your belly, tuck those toes under, press yourself up. We're gonna take a plank. We're gonna hold that plank for just 30 seconds in 3, 2, 1. Press yourself up. If you need to have those knees down on the floor, you can always do that. Squeeze those glutes. Make sure your hands, palms are right underneath of your shoulders. You're halfway there, just finding a little bit of strength here. Make sure that belly is pulled in nice and tight. Find some length through the crown of your head. For 3, 2, 1. Send your hips up towards the ceiling. Take a moment in down dog. Pedal through your heels. Still getting a great stretch of your shoulders, especially as you press through your hands. Bring your biceps in line with your ears. You can always shorten your stance. If you need to, shortening your stance might actually make it easier to get those heels a little closer towards the floor, to not just enjoy a big stretch through your shoulders and lifting of those glutes. So I want you to make sure that as those hips go back, you also think about if your strap was around your hips and then stretch up towards the ceiling. So press into your toes a little and see how that creates more length through the back, even more stretch through the leg. Even as those toes come down, you can work to find that length through the lower half of your body. Awesome. Release your knees down towards the floor. No standing up for today. Let's go ahead, sit ourselves back down. Take a moment, let's come into kneeling. Yeah, let's come into kneeling. If you have trouble actually sitting here in this kneeling posture, you can always lift yourself up onto your knees. We're just going to take 2 stretches right here. A little semi-seated cat-cow once again. So go ahead, interlace those fingers behind your back, whether kneeling or hero kneeling. I want you to really roll those shoulders back and down. Find that big opening and then pull your rib cage back in together. Squeeze those shoulder blades. On your next exhale, carefully release. Interlace your fingers in front of you. Turn your hands, palms forward. Find that rounding here. As if you're trying to press those hands, palms to the wall in front of you. Inhale, lift yourself up, bring your arms up overhead. Exhale, relax your arms down by your side. Have some fun getting them down there. And we're going to come into one last little stretch for that lower back and a little bit into the legs. So coming into deer pose, 90-90, your choice if you want to keep that back leg at a 90-degree angle and get a little bit more stretch through the outer thigh, or if you want to fold that back leg in and focus on creating more of a stretch in your quad. Whichever decision you go for, we're turning towards our front leg. Turn towards that front leg. If you can, bring those fingers down towards the floor. Maybe just one hand is down towards the floor as you work to create a little extra length, lifting that opposite shoulder. So whichever shoulder is towards the front, it's like you're lifting it up towards the ceiling and then working to press down through this inner thigh and glutes to create a little bit more stretch in that lower back. Even as you release your hands to the floor, it might seem like the floor was really far away. You can take a moment to relax yourself down, almost like you're giving yourself a push-up, and then find that length again. Can you square your chest at this point? That's going to help you really draw that shoulder forward if you square your chest with your mat. Walk yourself in. Before we switch to the opposite side, let's just take a twist in the opposite direction. As you find that twist, draw your belly in, find that length. Make sure, if you can, to even create that length first. So before you even twist, inhale, find that lift, exhale, twist. Keep using that inhale to find that length, that lift and engagement of your belly. And then change. Bring your hands behind you, send the knees up towards the ceiling, soles of the feet to the floor, windshield wipe on your way through to the opposite side. It is a rainy day here in Washington, D.C., and I'm looking up at Fred during this class, and she has her eyes closed, and she's sleeping, and I'm a little jealous. All right, let's go ahead, drop into our deer pose, 90-90, whatever feels best for you on the opposite side. So working to release that back glute towards the floor. If it's too much for you to have both legs extended, bringing that back leg in creates more of a stretch on that quad. Find your lifted length, belly in, turn towards your front leg. Take your time and carefully, with intention, maybe you take a couple breaths lifted over here on this side like we did on the opposite side, or maybe you're immediately able to bring both hands down towards the floor. And then take that rounding out of your back, lifting the chest, maybe you're even on tented fingertips. Square your chest with the top of your mat. So not squared with your thigh, but with the mat itself. And then inhale, walk yourself in. Keep that length as we twist towards the opposite side. And uncross it. One more big inhale, lift up. Exhale, bring both those hands behind you. Come back to that windshield wipe of those legs. Holy. Awesome, extend legs all the way out into full dragonfly. Find a little bit of a hinge forward for more of a stretch through those inner thighs. Flex your toes back towards your face. Just getting a little bit of lower body love here at the end. We're going to inhale those arms up overhead. The left hand is going to reach towards the right leg as the right arm reaches over towards the left. On your exhale, inhale, bring it back up through center. Exhale, opposite. Right arm reaches down towards the left leg as the left arm reaches over towards the right. Inhale up, exhale, reach. I'm opening my chest up towards the ceiling as opposed to collapsing down towards the floor. So looking up towards that extended hand. Let's go ahead, get 2 more times on each side. Last one in each direction. Inhale those arms up overhead. Exhale, rain forward. You might need to let those arms fall forward before your belly does. And keeping that nice long length. One more opportunity to walk yourself forward as much as feels good for you today. Keep those feet externally rotated and toes pointing up towards the ceiling. And once you have that big length, as long as your sit bones are still down, you can find a little bit of rounding here at the very end. Inhale, let's walk ourselves back in. Bob those legs back together. Awesome, go ahead, draw those knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a big hug right here. One more big lift of shoulders away from the ears. And let's take our time and make our way back to our feet together. So if you'd like to take a traditional Savasana at the end of this practice, now is a good time for you to lay down. However, if you, like me, need to get back to your desk to do some other work, just continue with your quiet breath here. We're gonna shift over onto our knees, tuck those toes under, send your hips up towards the ceiling. Walk your hands to your feet or your feet to your hands. Shift the weight to your heels as you dangle. While you're dangling here, relax your head down. Crown of your head comes closer towards the floor. And then draw your shoulders away from your ears. With the weight shifted into your heels, bend your knees and slowly roll yourself up. One vertebrae at a time. Stack your shoulders over your hips, head over your heart, arms relaxed down by your side, palms can even turn and face forward in the energy receiving position here in mountain pose, chin neutral towards the chest, but chest open, hips are gently pressed forward, glutes are squeezed, belly in. Take one more big inhale. Bring your hands, palms to the center of your chest in Namaskar, tuck your chin to your chest, and take a moment before you move on with your day to honor yourself, to thank yourself for coming to today's practice, to just once again take the time to notice how you feel and if you feel any different than when we started today. Should you find yourself with any questions or concerns, I hope that you will reach out. Until we meet again, continue to think good thoughts, speak good words, eat good foods, do the good deeds, and take time to nourish yourself from the inside out. I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of the day. Please know that the light within me is so thankful for, honors, and sees the light within you. Namaste.